Hello and welcome to O Stitch Happens. My name is Levi. I can be found on Instagram as wtfknitting without the singing. Welcome any new subscribers. Welcome returning viewers. My sister bought me this from Joann's. It's called In My Stitching Era, which is typically, looks like it's more like knitting and crocheting, but that's okay. She's a Tay-Tay fan before she became the Taylor Swift. So I'm here for my March update. We were totally dealing with some craziness happening in this house. Exhaustion. I don't know what the world happened, but the last 2 weeks of March, I couldn't get my life together. I was so tired and just ran down, and I wanted to sleep on my 15-minute break and on my 30-minute break, and then sleep at a nap, and then get up to eat, and then go back to sleep. It was crazy. I don't know what was going on. And then my partner, a few days later, got the same crazy thing. We didn't have COVID, didn't have flu, I don't know. But we're all better now. And then I couldn't get my life together to be presentable. I just couldn't get presentable. Then I tried to do a voiceover and show you just the pictures, and then it wasn't funny. It sounded like I was a robot or like I was in the army, and it was just not funny and not good. So we deleted all that nonsense. And now we're here. It is March the 6th, and it is around 2 o'clock. Gosh, I gotta get my life together and get this moving. I have 3 or 4 new starts. I have 3 finishes. One I showed you last week, but I'm going to show you again because I want to do the whole rundown of the stitching temperature that I did this month. And that's it. So if I'm ready, if you're ready, I'm ready. And I didn't bring a piece of tape again. And I even got out the painter's tape to put here. So, okay, I want to show you something. So up here, these here are all of our ornaments from our travels. We have these Chinese to-go containers. I'm not really sure why, but oh well. And that's it. I have more, but those are the ones that are up there. I think those are just probably from the last year or two. We have a cruise ship up there somewhere. Or maybe we didn't bring that one. Maybe that's put away. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Let's move on. Shit, hell and damn, right? Let's move it. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, I've done some rearranging. I've done some things I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to do some things that I'm adding to the mix because I'm getting bored with these 25 whips. And last month, I think I started 6 or 7 projects, and that's not helping the whip count. Okay, let's just let's call a spade, and it's not helping with the stitch count. It's not helping with the project count because I redid it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I've got rid of some. No, you haven't, fool. You've added to them. So I've added just a few more whips to kind of maybe savor my palette instead of just going nuts on the starting frame. Which, you know me, well, you probably don't know me because we've only done 5 episodes, but I'm a serial starter, and I just don't really have too qualms about starting anything. And especially if I'm enabled, which I got enabled by a viewer to start one of the projects, and then Melissa and I and Kim wanted to start a few projects. I surrender. So anyway, it's fun. I don't mind it. And it just goes into the closet. And one day, the thing is why I love to start things is because someday I will want to start all these things. And what difference does it make if it's sitting in my closet as a kit with the fabric and the floss, or hanging out with a few stitches in it? Because if I say, oh my gosh, there's one that I'm starting this week that I fell in love with that I thought I left in Canada, and then I found it the other day, so I'm super excited to get back to it. That's one of the projects I'm bringing into the rotation this month. And I think I might do that monthly where I just bring in a new project to help out and say, yo, get your life together. I think also this is kind of far back. I'm not really that sure what's going on. Sorry, my camera got delayed or my memory said, you're full. Maybe if I set up like a gentleman here. I cut off all my hair. It's spring season here, and we're going to be working out in the garden. Okay, if you're thinking about adding flower beds to your yard, please don't. I think we added maybe 10, 15 of them. And now they all need weeded. And then my partner last year went on Tulip Palooza. He thought we might have been Dutch or Netherlands. I'm not sure. And bought a bag of 100. He planted them all in one little section in the front of our yard. And well, when you're hyacinths don't come up and do the job, and your tulips come up before them, rabbits and deer tend to eat them. So we put hyacinths and dispersed through the yard because they're very scented. And also, like, our hyacinths are not scented this year. They're not like very fragrant. And that's what keeps the deer away and the rabbits, because they don't like scent. And then we put human hair in it. Doesn't work either. I mean, these deer and rabbits are savages in this one. Like, we used to live in this really like nice city. I mean, like the city we live in now, but like the other city we used to live in it's called Pickerington, and it's kind of like ritzy. And those deer up there were like, oh, we are not into this. We are not dealing with this garlic smell. Our senses are too refined. And these deer here are like, we don't give a shit that you put garlic, or I think it's chili powder in this. We are eating. We're hungry. And they're savages here, and they don't care. All right, so let's get to the whips. Okay, let's get to the whips. We're going to do Tree of Hearts. I did 606 stitches doing. This is where it's 1/1. I was not doing 1/1 on 27 count, so I gave up on that. This is 46 count cold foam by Be Stitch Me. The pattern is called Tree of Hearts. This is all the called for. This is an anchor 8-way, an anchor 6 thread. Oh, sorry, the anchor 6 thread's right here. Right here. And then this is Kismet by a British, it says just British overdyed. I don't really know what that means. So I just did more of this and this. I'm kind of working, kind of did a little bit of that, did a little bit of this, kind of just working all over the place, see where my little heart desires. Put 606 stitches in it. That'll be exciting. I'm trying to get like the outer section done, so I kind of have more of like a reference on where the little center parts are, because it gets a little dicey. The next project is called The Mystery of Halloween Town. I've done 181 stitches. But like, I love starting with anyone, so I don't really care. So this is 14 count. It's basically like vintage country, like vintage smoky white, but instead of it being a gray to a white, it's like an oatmeal brown to a white. You can see it right there. So I basically worked on the witch, finished filling in this, took whatever threads I had left and kind of worked wherever I did. You can't see the white. There's clouds there that I've stitched too. There's white like here as it's the little like overhang or whatever. But I primarily did the witch. Her pumpkin I started, and I did I started the scarecrow. This is a 14 count Ada, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of easy just to hop around wherever you want. And I did 181 stitches. Next one, oh my goodness. Ann Thomas, 1854 by Hands Across the Sea. And I told you last week that I had to do 1,800 stitches to get it done. And that's not actually, I forgot there's like 1/1 with the name and the year. And then there's like a little, I can't remember what else is down in the little cartouche at the bottom, but that's okay. I am currently net 16, so I've done 16 more stitches last month than I needed. I did move the snap. Okay, so here you can see, like, see how that's really dark, and that, it looks like pink, but it actually is like a yellow tinge. I completely finished the bird. I completely finished this upper motif. I'm working my way, still in a diagonal. The butterfly is done. He's so cute. This is clear down to the middle. Yeah, this is down right there is the middle of the pattern. So I'm just kind of doing my diagonals. I'm going to run into that it's not a partridge. It's not a partridge. Pigeon. I'll run into the pigeon soon and start that. It is one strand of floss over the 2 threads, so it looks very lacy, very like antique primmed up sampler. So this is Hands Across the Sea. And I am in love. And I just got to do, I did 300 additional stitches already on that for next month, because I remember it was part of my, and it is a Monopoly challenge. That one is my pink. Well, she calls them purple, but they're pink. I think they're pink. The next one is Blizzard. This is an animal cracker done by Stacy Nash. I've done 496 stitches on this one. And it is on 40 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. I'm doing it 1/2 on the 40 count. And I've done my own color conversion. I've gotten all of the colors in that I'm using now for the most part. So this one here, this color here is actually the sweater color. And I didn't really want it to be like Christmassy because it was kind of a Christmassy-ish looking. I mean, it was like agua and red, and I didn't want that. And then here I'll show you, I finished one of my projects. 123 Stitch finally sent me the number 15 bead that I needed for it, but I'm actually going to put the beads. And I've stitched it, so I'll just put the bead over top of it, but I'm going to, all that white stuff in that sweater, I'm going to do the beads. So that'll be super fun. My friend Melissa's doing she's not doing this one, she's doing Chill. And she's done with it. She's almost done. I don't know how she stitches so much. Oh my gosh. She gives me a complex. Okay, not really. But I am in love. I could actually see myself wanting to do like 1,000 of those. But anyways, I did 496 stitches. My partner's show, he did Godspell last, and that was the project I just took to kind of keep myself company. Because it was super easy. I had it on Pattern Keeper, and it was just kind of a floss and go. Like you could take 2 strands of the one six strand and just kind of work your way through it. And that's what I did. This one here. Okay. If I ever say to anybody, oh, I want to work on Kreinik tonight. Be like, no, you don't, dude. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't want to work on it. You do not want to work on this. So I did, Nightingale, let's see. I have done 122 stitches, but I think that's wrong because I think I worked on this. I have done more than 122 stitches. It doesn't matter. I started, okay, I'll put a picture up because I actually did, this is the glow in the dark. You can't tell how crappy these stitches are. I have even they are so garbage. And people are so nice and like, no, they're not. No, yes, they are. They're crap. But I did more in her hair. I've done more of her flowers. This is actually called for one of my temperature stitching. My temperature stitching for April is anything that has a flower in it. And she has, these look like peacocks, but she calls them, I don't remember what she called them, but there's also big flowers in the bottom of this dress. And so she is one of my temperature stitching for April. This is 32 count comfort by Picture This Plus on a Lugana. I'm doing it 2/2 on all, well, this is, I guess, 1/1, or 1/2, the, whatchamacallit there, the see-through, the glow-in-the-dark, and all the called for. And I have the overdyed and stuff like that, the silk that they like to use. Next one here. Next one is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. I only did 77 stitches. I think it was just, I did work on everything at the end, I worked on everything at March. And this one was like March 31st at like 10 minutes till midnight. And I just wanted to get some stitches in so I could say, oh, I've worked on everything in March. So I have completed, and I went back and actually put in some decent work on this in April. So you'll see a little bit more than 77 stitches. So I have completed the words, some of the more of the words over there. I think I brought down maybe this brown thing here. And that's about it. This is on 36 count truffle by Picture This Plus, and I'm doing it 1/2. Sorry, the dogs might bark. They were intrigued by something. And that's where I am. So I'm also trying to still come and finish this, and I just haven't had the will to do it. I think it kind of broke me. I don't know why either. This is Cathedral Wood Goddess by Mirabilia. Again, she's on the Chance Wheel. I did 167 stitches on her. You're, again, not really going to know the difference because, like, she just looks the same, just maybe a little bit different. So here she is. Sorry, this is on 32 count. Queen's Anne Lace by Winchell Jobelin. And I literally just did more teal. More teal. Just did this section. I started making my way down. So super cute. I'm doing all the called for on 32 count, over 2, with all of the DMCs, Karen Water Lilies, beads, all the fun things. This one here is the Plantation Sampler by 1884 Stitchery. I did 102 stitches on her. It's interesting. The last day of the month, you would have thought I'd done like 1 million stitches, but I only did 716. But there I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects. you need to count, dude. You only did 6. And then the total, which would have been the 7th one, but no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I did 6. So this plantation, I did 102 stitches. It's for utilities, and I just worked here. I just did this. This is all I did. I brought down this line. I started here, and I just brought it down to here. I did 102 stitches on it. And the rest, it's still the same. This is on 40 count mallow. I'm working it in hand. It is 1/2 on 40 count. There is no 1/1 on this. So I'm super excited. This one here. And Heaven and Nature Sings. I did 39 stitches, and I just realized I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it on this fabric. I'm not doing it the way I've done it. This is 36 count Duxbury. And you know the thing is, I really love the way it looks, but I hate stitching on it, so I'm just not doing it. This is 36 count Duxbury. I primarily just finished this, worked on that bird. And I am doing my, oh, actually I did no, I didn't even work on that. I did this. I did I filled in the little the red pieces here. I did this. And I've just come to the conclusion I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm going to figure out, this is on pause for right now. I'm going to keep it in the rotation. I still owe it like 400 or 500 stitches from Monopoly last month. I'm going to figure it out. I don't think I want to do it. I'm going to do a test. And also, I think I'm just going to do it in the DMCs. I think I'm going to get the DMCs and maybe intersperse some of the colors that I chose as the like custom colors. But I definitely know I won't have enough of this dark, and I won't have enough of this, and I won't have enough of the light green, the 3 greens. I won't have enough of either of them to switch it over unless I went clear to like 56 count. I'm not doing 56 count. Oops. I dropped one. So yeah, it's on hold. And I'm really going to figure it out. Like, do I want to do this 1/1 on the same fabric? Just kind of like put it over and put it right here. Which actually I might just do. I might just slop it off and maybe turn it into like a little pillow or something. I don't know. I'm not a pillow guy. Like, stop talking that nonsense. But yeah, so I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to either continue, flip it over, and do it 1/1, because I really love 1/1. I don't really love it, or 1/2 on 36 count. I don't love that look, but I also don't love stitching it on that. But then I thought, I was talking yesterday, I'm like, we were talking about sulky on 36. I'm like, yeah, I could do sulky, but then I'd have to figure out all the colors again. So that may be okay. I could do that, because I went like down this whole sulky rabbit hole one time, and I have like all these, I have all these sulky colorways. I remember watching there was like a quad of a girl group that was doing a YouTube, and then somehow some of these, I find it I'm nosy. I love to be nosy. Like, I love it when groups break up, because there used to be 4 of them and now there's only 3. And I find it very interesting. Like, well, why? Like, I don't know, suspicious. I like to know things. Next one. Okay, so that one I only did 39 stitches. That was the one, again, I worked the least on because I just couldn't do it anymore. This next one here is Emerald Mermaid, and I worked on her for 102 stitches. She is on 28 count Mercedes by Picture This Plus on linen. And here she is. And if I'm honest, I don't even know what I worked on. I don't know. I know I finished these 2 things here. Oh, I started over here. I started bringing down the feathers there. This month, it's April. This is going to be my Mira May. I'm going to work on this solely on Mira May. I'm not going to, now I got my birthday start coming up in May as well. So I'm not going to be working, like, I'll still keep up with other things, but like this will be my focus. Like, I'll work on other stuff, but this will be my primary, like, you need to get your life together and work on this. So this month I'm going to work on getting to her head and figuring out if I'm going to do it 1/1, her skin, or 2/1 half stitch. or what I'm going to do, but I need to get her up to the top so that I can figure out and work. Because I'm a top-down stitcher. Like, I don't like working. I'm not a fan of working from the bottom up or the middle kind of outwards. I don't like that. So I'm going to get, by the end of this month, I'm going to be up to her head. And her head will be, you know, obviously on this side of the fabric somewhere. So I got to figure that out this month and figure out what I'm going to do with the skin. I'll probably do it to her too. I don't know. I should look, I have Taurus done 1/1. I don't know if I ever showed that on this channel, but I have Taurus. I did that in the very first video. I did her skin 1/1. The one thing I like about that one is I don't think she has a skin color that's like 2 colors. So then like I wouldn't have to worry about like patching it in. But I did watch a video with, oh gosh, Jessie Marie Does Stuff, where she was doing, I think it was Autumn Sky, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that one mermaid that she did. She showed us how she did the 2 things. She basically made it like a patchwork. Did like every other square the 1 color, and then did the other square the second color. So it looked like you still had like the combination and the transitioning of the color, because it's a transition from the 1 color to the next color. And she did show how she did the like quilt patching, stuff to do the 2 thread business. So I might try that, but I really don't like doing 1/1 either. Okay, sorry about that. I had to make sure. I forgot I turned my phone off last night, or my watch off last night, and I didn't turn it back on. And I had to make sure I was trying it, because I had it on like I don't know what I had it on. Last time I did this video, I was getting text and I didn't get it because I didn't put it on airplane mode, so I'm not really sure what happened. Doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about my precipitation, 2 precipitation pieces. My first one is Remember Me by Teresa Koga. It is on a 40 count peony by Fiber on a Whim. I'm doing it 1/2. And I did last month 828 stitches. And I might regret this because it has literally rained every day besides one day this month. And we're on the 6th, so that's 600 stitches. And I still owe it 358 from last month. I still owe it 358 from last month. But I did 828 stitches. Again, it's on 40 count. 1/2, so 1 thread over 2 linen threads. This is Peony by Fiber on a Whim. I just told you that. I don't know why I'm repeating it. I'm almost to the edge. There's a big old flower here, and then I'll be to the edge over here. And again, there's also a big flower over here, and then I'll be on the edge. So this is when it rains. So if it rains, I work on it. Primarily, I did this last month, and then I finished this flower here and started the leaf, because I had a color on my thread from over here, and I just came over here and started working on it as well. And I'm doing it in all the called for DMCs and the overdyes. And again, anytime it rains, it gets my sidewalk. I have brick sidewalks. If it turns my brick sidewalks that are a lighter brick and it turns a darker brick, then that's enough precipitation for me to, oh, and I did this. I did the line. I forgot I did that. So this is actually the very corner of the block, because you know the main scene's right here. I did that. And then this one's like just a few stitches away from being finished over here. And I'm going to change the house. The house is like 2 cream colors or tan colors. My grandma's house was white with a slate roof. So I'm going to do something along those lines. And then I'm going to take out the alphabet at the bottom and put in Wilma Lucy Miller. And then May 14th, 32 to August 31st, 2022. Because it says, when you look at this, remember me. And my grandma, you know, it's so funny. My grandma was like not a very farm girl. So like, I don't know how she got into peonies and like climbing rose bushes and lilacs and stuff. I'm not really sure how she got into that, other than she said she just found some peonies and put them in when she moved into the house. And then later on, she really loved climbing rose bushes, which I don't have any climbing rose bushes. Maybe I'll get one. Oh no, I don't need any more. We just talked about that. Like, we have far too many rose bushes in this nonsense. This one here is Santa Stops Here by With Thy Needle and Thread. It is on 36 count. Duxbury, and I am doing this one thread over 2, and I am like really in love. I've got that roof almost all done. Oh gosh, can we just get her finished by now? I mean, and I completed 535 stitches. So from last time I came over and did this chimney and I got that so that I would know where this row that continues over here to where it finishes so that I could finish the roof. But again, unless it snows, it'll be, but also I love this, so I might pick it up. I want to finish this for Christmas, but I don't know if it's going to get done. It may just be one of those ones where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick this up for the month. It's going to be like my little like palette cleanser. That's a good idea, palette cleansing. And then to cleanse the nonsense. I don't know. So I did 535. I am up actually 444 stitches, or 440. I'm up 44 stitches. So I did 44 more stitches than I needed to do on that one. I did want to show you a finish. This is my sow. This is the only one that was actually a sow. I finished Matter in Hand. And you know what? I had a piece of, I can't put a picture because I didn't take a picture. I got the project out and then I forgot to bring it. Someone asked me to show the difference between this fabric and an actual platinum color. Like, what does it look differently? And you can definitely tell this one's a little tiny. It's just a tiny bit more gray than the other ones. But I did finish this. I did, right here, I tried to find the video where Just Keep Stitching Pam and Steph were talking about the blog that she put, because this used to be Russian. I turned it to Ukraine. And I couldn't find it, so I just went to Pam's Instagram, snapped a picture, and just did it from the picture, because I couldn't find the blog, and I couldn't find the video they did either on it. And I used to have it. I'm like the type that I will put a tab in my internet on my phone and just leave it there until I need it again. But I couldn't find it, so I must have closed it, because I could have swore they tagged it in one of their videos at the bottom. And I even tried to find some where they even talked about it, and I have an attention span of an ant, so I think I probably only looked at 2 or 3 videos. And then I went to Jeanette Douglas's blog, and I couldn't find it there. And then I tried to put it in the internet search. And then finally I just went to, what's her name? I went to Pam's, Instagram and just took a snapshot of it and zoomed it in. I did change these to purple, the 3 purples that I used throughout the whole project. This is actually changed to purple. That's changed to purple. But everything else is for the called for overdyes. And this is really darling. I was also going to put like In the War and do some other things. And I don't know. It's rough. The streets are rough here, folks. And they're only going to get rougher. So I'm going to get this into I'm going to get it into a frame or take it to the framer. I don't know. We'll see how it works out for us. I'm not quite sure. And that one, I actually did a lot of stitches on that one. That one was one I got started last month, and then I just literally could not put it down. And I did 2,278 stitches. And that one was with Jamie, and she is called Stitching and Wishes. I don't know, I'll link it down. I'll put a Sal section, and anything the Sal, if I'm doing with whoever I'm doing with, I'll tag below. And I'm also doing with Pam. She's also on here, but she doesn't do YouTube, and I keep talking to her about it. She's putting her life together. She says she needs a new background. I said, well, put yourself behind a blank wall, and you won't have to worry about the background. Anyways, I adore both those. And I'm excited to see them both at Weekend B at StitchCon in June, which is so late. It's like June 19th or something. Crazy. Anyway. Let's talk about temperature stitching for last month. It was really exciting because I got a lot done. And, that's a sneak peek. I also didn't bring over Mystic Garden. Oh, well. I'll put in a picture of Mystic Garden because I did a lot, actually, in Mystic Garden. Okay, so this is really funny. So, I was like, oh, why didn't she do the fence in gray? They were actually hedges. Reading is fundamental. They're hedges. And then she did this, I remember I told you like these little diagonal satin stitches and then she kind of crossed over them. I think she called them Scottish stitches. She did those in gray and they're supposed to represent the stones that lined the path. Reading, fundamental. Anyways, I did some of that too. I'll put a picture here and you can see it. It's really pretty. I actually worked on that for a total of 1,001 stitches. And then I started something new to replace her with another Susan Lentz. And I'll show that here in a bit. But anyways, temperature stitching. Week 1, I did, now I have worked on Noelle more because I did some in April, but I'm not going to talk about that. So I currently did 105 stitches. I owed it 200 stitches for passing go. And then this last time she passed go again, so I owe 400. This is on all of the called for materials. I did dye this with red and blue dye from Rit, and then it was too dark and I put bleach on it. But I did this bird here, and then I came over and worked on the L, and then I'm just kind of working my way. I wanted to get a bunch of stitches done, so I just did the black, to be honest. That's it. I wanted to get some stitches done, so I did the black, I did the L, but what I'm doing is I'm working my way down. So I'm going now that I wanted to race and get a few stitches done. I'm just picking the next block stitch and stitching it until the thread ends. And then if it ends and it still has left, I'll find somewhere else where it is. And then I just work down. I'm going to work my way down through it all because I'm getting kind of bored with it. Honestly, I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored with all of them. That's probably why I had 50 stitches last year. And I get to the point where I'm just like, I'm ready to have a party. So I did 805 stitches plus, I think like 200, maybe 300 for this month. And this one was Christmas Rose. And I found out what Christmas Rose was missing, which I interlude maybe earlier. I've had to redo this video 2 times because the dog went nuts and I forgot to, he goes so nutty sometimes that I don't even pay any attention to him. And then I forgot, oh yeah, I'm trying to video this. And then I realized, oh yeah, they're talking. Okay, so this is Christmas Rose by Blackbird Design. It is worked 2 over 2 on 28 count dense fog by Dense Fog Linen. 28 count linen colorway dense fog by Windshield Import Fabrics when they were hand dyeing some stuff. And I told you last week, I kept telling y'all, I think this fabric is really like stretchy and weird. The black frame I picked, this actually fit in because I went and pinned it all out and like counted up and pinned it and then counted it up, pinned it again and put it on a board and put it in there and it fit. And now it's like, doesn't fit anymore. So the one thing I did do is I put love here instead of anybody's initials. I put 2025. And then here. This here is supposed to be a tree. And the tree that I have to do, which I'm not doing, is this one right. It looks similar to that one there. That's supposed to, or maybe it's this one. It might be. Actually, I think it's that one. That's supposed to go here. And then also, these are charted the way it is. But if you look on the front of the pattern, those red dots continue this way. But in the pattern, they only do it on the one side. But on the front cover, they do it here. And then I thought to myself just now, do they have an errata? Maybe Blackbird Design, like on their, I don't know if they have a blog or a .com. Maybe they put erratas up and I just didn't pay any attention, which is probably 1,000% true. But yeah, everything is in the called for, and I'm going to leave that out because again, if I didn't put it in this video, my Christmas garden has all the initials removed. I didn't add the initials. I got so excited that it was finished. I didn't add my grandma, my mom, and my 3 sisters. And then in the bird, the cardinal, Christmas cardinal that's in the same book, I didn't do half the flowers. I didn't do half the flowers on it. I don't know. We're just living life over here, folks. So yeah, super cute. The other thing I messed up was both birds are supposed to look like this one. I was on a call and I thought the symbol changed, and I decided that yeah. I thought the symbol turned into red. The lies. So super cute. I'm really excited about this one. And I'm going to get this one to like frame or something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Because that frame, I'm just so upset about that frame. So to finish that one, I need to do 1,733 stitches, which I did. I did 805 stitches. So that Christmas Rose won week 2. It actually would have won week 3, but I finished. Sarah Barker, 1840, by, and the Noel kit is done by Jolynn. I forgot to say that. This one is Needlework Press. And I am doing her on 18 counts Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And last time, I said I was too far up to keep the diagonal going, or too far low to keep the diagonal moving. So I've actually finished the whole center. This is 1/1. And I've done a 1/1 at, nope, it's wrapped up in here. I've done a 1/1 S, so I need to figure out if I'm doing that still or what I'm doing. And then I just came up here and started bringing down the green. I've currently done 2,864 stitches. And the last roundup, I fell off because that's when I was really like, I just couldn't, I don't know what was the problem with me. I was just really exhausted and not well. But nothing was wrong. Like, it was just exhaustion. And it could just be like the current, like, torture we're in. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was just super exhausted. But yeah, so I did 2,864 stitches in this. This is channeled for a slate in May. So I got to do half of the stitches now and half the stitches in May. Well, May. I don't know if that's going to work out. Maybe it's a June finish. I don't know. But also the Emerald Mermaid is so far from being finished that likely it may not get finished. Because I think I have like maybe 15 or 16,000 stitches. But I mean, I did 20, so maybe I can. But I also have, I feel like I might have ADD or something. Okay, so week 2, this one won by default. And then week 3, it also won by default. So it was to go up against Hipster Lamb. And I'm proud to say Hipster Lamb is an F. It's a finish. A finish. I have completely finished every single piece of this lamb. It's used to be found on Etsy. I don't know what happened to it, but it's no longer there. Or at least I couldn't find it. But if you put in Hipster Lamb, maybe you might find something similar. This is on a 28 count unknown. It's either a Murano or a Lugana. The way it looks, it kind of looks like a Murana. Dyed. I think it's hand dyed because it's like actually like modeled. I didn't realize that. I thought maybe it was my Q-snap or the age of it. I don't know. But the background is actually similar to this color. And I'll put a picture here. This is how amateur I was. I got like 5 skeins of each color. Like, I had so much floss left over. But I am so excited to call it done. And it is so darling. So darling. I'm really excited to have it finished. Well, then, week 4 happened. Actually, it was week 4 when it was end of week 3 going into week 4 that I just was really not well. And I can't even, oh, here's my beads. So these are the beads I'm going to use, which I'm going to put now with whatchamacallit. They're 15, they're petite beads, which means they're 15. And they're 40, 47, 9 is the colorway right there. That's the color I'm using. Well, get your life together. Right there. And they're tiny little beads, so they'll fit perfectly on a 40 count. And I'll show you, they will fit perfectly on a 46 count, shockingly. So then week 4, so this one won by default because obviously the Hipster Lamb got completed. So I actually worked a lot on this. I did almost 1,000. I did over 1,000 stitches on this alone because it kept getting called. And then for my Christmas list, I did 900 stitches. So that doesn't make any sense. I did 895 stitches. So then maybe I did complete this, and maybe I was in my own delusion. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, who knows? And here is my progress of the 800 stitches. So this is my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. And I am doing it in all the called for. I'm doing it over 1/2. And I'm actually working this like this. I'm working it from the bottom to the top. Oh shoot. Gosh, what the hell is my problem today? So here we go. So I have, I had all this. I completed the angel. I think I did this wording. I did that wording. I've done the bet. I think this might have been done. I think I finished Christ. And then angels, singing. I did finish that angel. I started that and I did the bed. And the bed's not even completed yet. So that's super exciting. On 32 count vintage country mocha. Just done over 1/2. 1 thread of DMC over 2 threads of whatchamacallit. And I actually kind of like it. I think it looks really pretty. I mean, is it a little sparse? I don't know, because they don't use black. But like, I think it looks very vibrant here. Anyways, I love it. I did 900 stitches, 895. So to make that a point, this was the winner. So this is the next finish of my 2021 projects. Now I only have 2 left. I have this one and Noel, so I gotta figure that out. And that'll be fun as well. So then my few starts that I started, let's get to talking about those. The first one here, we went to that November retreat in Yellow Springs. There was like a freebie table, and this one here, it was called 3 Tulips by With Thy Needle and Thread. It's a rabbit on an urn, and there's 3 tulips. And there's a bunch of alphabets and like 3 or 4 birds. And it came with this fabric, and it is Gray by Weeks Dye Works on 40 count. You know, you can always tell by who your people are if they give the original name of this fabric or they give the new name of the fabric. I'm doing it 1/1. This looks nothing like the cover. Just like, you know, it looks nothing. This is a 2013 pattern. Like this color here, it's called Schnickley. And it, in the pattern, is like a dark brown green. And now it's like a really light, I love this, like bird that looks like it's jumping. Oh gosh, it's so cute. So I wanted to get an Easter start, and I thought, oh, I might get it done before Easter. I don't know why I had such ambitions. But here it is. It's so cute. So this is Gray by Weeks Dye Works. It came with the pattern. It was inside the pattern when I got it off the freebie table. Melissa and I did a few starts this month. I'll talk about that in a minute. The one other start I started, because, you know, I watch Sunday morning every Sunday, no matter if it's during the time or it's in the evening or whenever, but I always watch Sunday morning on NBC or CBS. And every time I watch it, I work on Mystic Fabric. I work on Mystic Garden. And then one Sunday, I told you last week I was going to order the Tree of Life on Etsy. Or sorry, it was on eBay, and it was just the pattern only, and I just kind of wondered how it was going to work out and what kind of thread you were supposed to use and blah, blah, blah. Well, they used this thread that kept coming up as Karen. When I put it in, they put it in as, it came up as Karen Water Lily. So I don't know if maybe they were, they were one of their, you know, they have several different colors. Maybe it was owned by them, but every time I put up the particular, and I don't have well, I do have the pattern. I have it right here. Let's see. I mean, I have my little, like, working copy. The Empress floss. It was a viscose silk fiber. By Needle Necessities. Every time I put that in, it kept coming up Karen Water. It kept coming up the Karen Company. So I don't know if maybe that was just a brand of floss through their stuff, but it doesn't matter. This is on 20. It was supposed to be done on 27 count over 1. And specialty stitches done over however. And I said, I can't do it over 1. I'm so sorry. So I found this. This is how silly I am. I was telling Lisa this yesterday. I was like, oh, this is 22 count. Ada or heart hanger, or I don't know the difference. She said it was Ada, so we're going with Ada. And I said, oh, I could do I was telling Melissa this. I was like, oh, I could do a full coverage on this stuff. Because it's really nice. It doesn't slip if you use over 2 threads, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I could use, whatchamacallit. I measured, figured out what I needed. I knew it was like a half a yard because it was super huge. Chopped it off, flipped over the fabric, and I'm like, oh, there was a project on this. Oh, it was full coverage. I don't know what it was. It wasn't with any floss. It was in my fabric, so it must have been a false, I bet you it was a false start of Portrait of Father, because it just wasn't for me. So I bet you it was a false start of that. But anyways, 22 count Aida, white Aida, swag art, because it's got the orange. And I'm doing it however it told me. I messed this up. Her directions are very weird on this one. I'm not going to take it out. She has these little like dashes that you were supposed to do like possibly 1/1, and they weren't 1/1 if you looked at the photo. This looks like tropic. You should see it. Either these have drastically changed in the 30 years, or the pattern cover has completely faded. But these look like tropical colors versus the colors that are on the, which I love. It's fine. So I'm currently doing, so I've done, these are elongated. These are like large X stitches. These are over 2 cross. Those are over 2 cross. The little light, the darker, brighter pink is over. The magenta and the center yellow are all 2/1 full cross on the 22 count. This here is eyelet stitches or smear crosses. This here is considered a specialty stitch because it's 1/1. And if you used a higher count, higher than 25, you're supposed to do a half cross, but I did it on 22 count, so I just did it a full cross. The stitches are a little bit like full, but they're really cute. So I'm super excited. So I've got to finish my 1/1s all the way around here. And I thought about doing the little like tracing it and then filling it. And then I'll come back in and do my Smyrnas. There's some more leaves that look similar to that in a different color. And then I'll get down to my birds, which are really cool. I'm super excited. She does I don't know what she does. She does 2 threads and it looks like little feathers. It's very cool. I'm really excited to get to there. Then I have 2 laying hens first before I get to that. Those 2 birds I was just talking about. 2 nesting hens. It's a really cute pattern. If I remember, I'll bring it next time. So darling. So then me and Melissa started 2 projects. One I was influenced by one of the followers here on the channel, and I honestly wrote down your name and then I didn't bring over the picture. I didn't bring over I don't know. Sorry about it, but there was someone that was mentioning when she was watching, she was kitting up 324 by Works by ABCs. And I was like, oh, that's so great. She's like, I'm starting it on March 24th. And I said, oh my gosh, I love I don't know what it's called. An iteration? Is that what it's called? An iteration? I don't know what it's called, but whatever. An analogy? No, it's not an analogy. I think it's called an iteration. Who knows? I'm not an English person. I save lives. And if you want to spell something, then you might die because I can't spell worth a shit. This month was a new start. Last month was a new start. I did 789 stitches. I love that pattern. I did 570 of them on his birthday on the 23rd of March. Any reason to start something, right? I love it. Oh, okay. Sorry. 324 by Works by ABCs. This is how I'm doing it. So she does a 9 block. There's a piece of this pattern she does where she says if you don't want to do it, you can do 9 blocks in 36 different colors instead of doing all the colors of DMC. And because I'm doing this nonsense here, right there, I said, oh, I could just do, and obviously I haven't finished it. I'm a pro at not finishing stuff. I am. It's my superpower. But what I'm doing is I'm doing mine. Each week I'm doing a 9 block. So 1 through 9, I just go and pick all the colors there, and then I put them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've done 2 weeks, 1 here, and then I'm on the second one. And I have currently done 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I've done 328 stitches. So I'm doing Monday to Sunday. So today I will finish my 9 block for this week, and I have 2 colors. So here it is. So I'll have another square block here, and then I'll have another little like fancier thing here, and the last 2 colors on my sheet. And then Monday, or maybe tonight, I'll go back in and fill my 1 through 9 block with the next like 893 to 330 to 35. So I'm doing 9 blocks every week, and I'll have it done in what, 30, I don't know, doesn't matter, 36 weeks. If I keep up with it, who knows, I probably won't. It's done on 46 count white, 1/2 threads, and it's a full cross thing. Like, you won't have anything that won't fit on. It is perfect for Ada. But it's on 36 count, 1/2 on just a basic white 46 count. So super cute. So there they are. And then this color here is my hot coral color, my favorite color, 891. Yeah, and that is my, oh my gosh, my man, I'm brain fart. That is my hot coral and the fruit of plenty. And it's funny that everyone says the fruits. It's the fruit of plenty is the actual name of the pattern. But everyone says fruits. But anyways, that's my pink. That's my coral in it. I love it. It's so darling. And this is my favorite Q-snap, by the way. It is an 8 by an 11. And I have a one that's like a 6 by an 11. But my favorite is an 8 by 11. Unless I'm trying to do full scale, and then I like 17 by 11. Or even 17 by the 8, depending on whatever it comes in. But last month I did 326 stitches. So that's the first 9. That's the first 9 right here. Was the 300 and whatever stitches. And then this month, April, I did all these ones in April. So that will be next month's numbers, because I didn't print those off. So then that's that. And then the last one here, my friend Melissa and I from the Diary of a... She just should call her name the Hyperactive Crafter instead of the Diary of. Just say the Hyperactive Crafter. Because I always forget Diary of. Doesn't matter. Whatever, it's her choice. Don't ask. I'm a hot mess. I told you that already. I told you I'm a hot mess. So her and I do the Quaker series by Rosewood Manor, and we've done winter, autumn, spring. Spring is where I decided I'm going to do them all in 40 count. So I have to restart fall and winter. I got fall's color because it's on doubloon, and I have 40 count doubloon by Picture This Plus. I don't know what the blue is for Christmas, but I'm also going to start it on 40 count. And I think I'll have enough threads, even though I've done probably a page on each of them. Actually, I think I've done 2 pages on winter. But I think I'll have enough threads to convert it to 1, because how I do the 40 count, because it's a 3 thread, I just take one of the 3 threads and do it on 40. That's it. Plain and simple. And because I tried to do it 2 threads over 1, and it was just too, not my jam. So I'm doing Spring Quaker. It is on vellum by Picture This Plus on 40 count. And here's where I got to. And I picked up the wrong green because I was trying to do this green here. And this is right now because I took it out. So then I just started doing the words because it's in the right green. And then I had to do some more of this color. So I came over here. The only problem is doing this on 40 count. The color switching is longer because your stitches are so small. So you've kind of got to, if you're not like me, you don't plan out anything, but you've kind of got to plan out where your color changes and happening. Like, see these triangles here, diamond shape there and diamond shape there. They're the same thread, but because the thread takes so long to color change, I just did the top ones in the darker purple and the middle ones in the lighter purple. And then over here, I kind of started with the purple and did the center. I took it to the center in the darker purple. So you just got to kind of, when you're doing it on the 40-ish count or whatever you're going to do it on, you just got to be more mindful of how long the variegation is, because if not, all those diamonds could have just been the dark purple. So what I do is, like, I did the thread I cut, I made sure that one end was the light color and one end was the darker color on any of them. And then what I do is I'll stitch some of the stuff in the darker, thread it off, cut it off, switch the thread down so that the lighter color is the longer piece, and then I'll stitch with the lighter color, thread it off, cut it off, bring down the darker color, and then just stitch like that. And I'll just keep switching it out so that the color variation is appropriate. And I have done, and if you don't give a shit, then don't do any of it. I've done 341 stitches. I think I've worked on that actually in April as well. And then that, oh, no, sorry. I finished. So I told you I got the beads. I wanted to show you guys Beloved. This piece is actually super beautiful. And if you ever get a chance to see it in real life or stitch it on your own, it is just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But anyways, I got the beads. So that's what I wanted to re-show you guys again. I got the beads. This is done on Victoria Clayton silks. And if you're worried about the Victorian Clayton silks, it is a bit, or not worried, but if you've never used them before, sometimes her colors are just a hair brighter than the actual DMC colors. It could be because of the silk, could be because of the color, it could be because of the shine, but they're just a hair brighter. That's it. But I wanted to show you that I got the beads and I put the little beads in the eyes. And that's what was called for. Those were the beads that were called for, and I put them there and there. So this project is 100% an FO now. So I'm going to get it to the framer. I'm going to use a local one here in town. We'll see. We'll see how that works out for us. I don't know. But I finished it. And I'm going to show you my back too, because it's reversible. I mean, like, the whole thing's not reversible, just the letters. Some of them. I want a little rug at some point. But look, like, even the letters are slightly reversible. Well, mostly. Other than that E. I don't know what happened to the E. It's probably because I had to take I had to cut off a thread in the middle of it. But yeah. It's reversible. Oh, gosh. This is on 46 count Shadow by Victorian Model Sampler Fabrics. Maybe, now that I think about it, maybe Nightingale, or maybe, and Heaven and Nature Sings could fit on, I mean, it'll definitely fit on this. Could go on the back of that. I'll have to check it out. That would be kind of pretty. I'll have to do a toss floss and consider it. But I really love that. So that was just 2 stitches. So you don't really care about that one. Anyways, okay, that's all. If you're only here for the cross stitching, thanks so much for coming in. I wanted to talk about last week when I said you have more problems than Carter's got pills. That might be I think that's going to be a new segment here. I'm gonna do a deep dive in, not a deep dive, but like a semi deep dive into some things that I say or people say, and like, why do we say them, and who, like, where's the background of them. So first of all, there was one person on here, and again, I have it written down, and I didn't bring it over, but they had said, I done the Google search for you, and it's not actually, the Carter is Carter liver pills, and Carter liver pills were actually for, some people thought they were for cholesterol. Some people thought, it was very interesting how, like, some historians thought they were cholesterol pills, or for a laxative. So at one point, Carter said that one of his slogans was, he has so many pills, he'll never run out of these little brown pills. So then people started saying, you have more problem than Carter's got pills. But the one interesting thing is, most people thought that Carter was actually Jimmy Carter because of him being a farmer, and most people thought he wasn't fit to be president, or some folks didn't think he was fit to be president, even though he did some excellent things for the country. Most people thought the saying was actually for Jimmy Carter, and it was actually for Carter's liver pills, or little brown pills, I think is what they've ended up being called. Because people also thought that they were to cure liver associated diseases, and they weren't doing that at all. They were just helping you poop. So I thought that was very interesting. I was like, oh, I didn't know who Carter was. And I guess I could have assumed it was Jimmy Carter, but it wasn't. It wasn't Jimmy Carter at all. It was Carter liver pills. Little brown pills, I think is what they were called. And then they got rid of them because then they found that they weren't as good as they scientifically. I don't even know if they were actually scientifically, because they were just they were considered a vitamin, or like a non-regulated vitamin per se back then. My next thing is I was looking at, I've had a really tough time lately, and not really tough time's hard to say, but anyways, I was on, I don't remember where I was on. I saw this pattern that said, there's always room at the table. And I thought to myself, is that table really that inviting? Is that table that everyone keeps speaking of? And then I got So then I went down this rabbit hole of looking at 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I just put around table. I just put in the simple word table, and there were several patterns that talked about inviting people to this table. And I wanted to know where the table came from. It was a dangerous rabbit hole. So most people think the table was actually from Maya Angelou that talked about basically if there's not a chair, bring your own. And I saw that Ravel Stitcher made a pattern about it. And then I went down another rabbit hole where I found this designer that's up and coming. And I was like, you have very Christian-based designs, but then you have this very random one that talks about there's always room at the table. And then I thought, well, what table are you inviting people to? Are they all people like you? Would you be accepting of somebody that was transgender or somebody that may live a lifestyle outside of you, like say a sex worker or a gay person or somebody in an interracial marriage? So then I went down that whole rabbit hole. Oh my gosh. And then I thought, are you inviting me to a conversion therapy table? Like, what kind of table are you inviting me to? And then I started looking at people that were tagging this particular designer. I'm like, oh, I watch you people. So then, like, are you people at this table? And, like, are you inviting anybody else at this table? Like, because you all look very similar. So what table are we inviting people to? And I thought it was just a very random pattern outside of what the typical design of this person is. So I thought that was very interesting. So then that sent me down a whole nother rabbit hole of where did this table come from? And is this a mythical table? Like, what table are we at? So then I went down the rabbit hole of finding out where the table was. And it was interesting. It's actually a Christian. Her last name was Murray. In 1998, she developed a hymn. She was a devout Catholic Christian. I don't know what Christianity subgroup she was associated to because it didn't go down that far. I couldn't go down any further. I was down so far. I spent a whole evening instead of stitching, finding out this table. So then I was down the rabbit hole of where this table came from. This lady that was a devout Christian. Again, I don't know her subsection, like if she was whatever. I don't really know the whole Christian group thing. I only know Catholic because that's what I was raised as. She was like 60 or 80 or something like that in 1998 and realized that there were no Christian hymns about equity and equality. So it's very interesting in 98 that this lady was thinking where are the equity and inclusion? I think it was equity. Oh my gosh, I don't have my notes either. I can't talk off my ass anymore. Shit, hell and damn, you just said ass, sir. So you got one strike. No, anyways, so she was like, there's no hymns about equality and equity. And it was very interesting. She was saying human rights are the basic rights, like food, water, shelter, and clothing. And water should be the right of every human in the world that is born into it. And the table was actually talking about allowing everyone at the table to have equal and humanity in their lives. So I thought that was interesting. And then and that's when I spiraled down the whole rabbit hole, who's she bringing to this table? What is any designer? Not even the specific one that I thought it was such a outrageous, out of the box. Are you money grabbing or are you actually serious about it? Then that's where I went down the whole rabbit hole of whatever these designers that are making this around the table stuff, what table are they inviting us to and who are they inviting? Are they inviting everyone that's like them? Or are they inviting, if the table is in 10 and you have 8 people that are exactly like and you only invite 2 different people that maybe have adjacent views to you, are you actually inviting anybody at the table that's going to make your table a better table? I started thinking about all these retreats. And then I started thinking about you see these people that take pictures and all the retreat people look the same. As diverse as it should be. But is it so exclusive because the cost is so high that you can't afford room at the table, room at the retreat table. It was a dangerous rabbit hole, and I had to get out, so I stopped looking. I quit it. I just quit it. And did I buy any rabbit hole table projects? No, I did not. Anyways, so I thought it was very interesting that it was actually a Christian lady that realized there was no hymns about equality and equity in the Christian hymn realm. I thought that was very interesting. And it's called Around the Table by something Murray. I tried to find it on YouTube. I found like some covers of it, but I couldn't find the actual woman singing it. So I don't know if she was, I'm pretty sure she probably wasn't like an artist singing, but I thought it was very interesting. So that was my quote for this week was, there's room around the table. And the interesting fact is she doesn't ever mention anything about room around the table. It's just around the table is the hymn she made, but everyone associates that. But also there was a lot of people that thought it was Maya Angelou that started the around the table comment, and it was actually this lady last name Murray. So that's all I have for you. Next week, okay, I had to delete some storage on my phone, but I just wanted to let you know that the thing that I'm going to do like a kind of a deep dive into this week is I'm sicker than a dog. Why do we say that we're sicker than a dog? Like, our dogs aren't chronically sick. So like, why are we talking about why am I sicker than a dog? But anyways, I wanted to thank you all so much for entertaining my nonsense today, which was a lot of nonsense. So I will see you. The recordings are going to get kind of sketch here because my partner's school's almost up, and like we're in a weird transition at this point until the middle of May before the next show starts. So like, he's home a lot more. It's uncomfortable. It's not really uncomfortable, but like, it's weird to do this in front of people or near when people can hear you talking. Yap, yap, yap. Anyways, so I wanted to thank you all so much. I'm going to be back at the middle-ish of April or the end of April. It may just become a monthly thing until June. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you all so much. But the next time we will talk about I'm sicker than a dog. Why do we say we're sicker than a dog? I'd like to know. Like, why? Anyways, toss that floss and let stitch happen. Thanks so much. Bye now.